This episode of Ask the 8-Ball Podcast is brought to you by BBOPS, Lola's Fine Hot Sauce, and the Mullin Team at ReMax Revolutions.
Hi, I'm Quinn, and I'm listening to my daddy and Cody.
Do we need to ask them to turn the music off, or?
It usually doesn't pick up, but...
Okay. You guys know. All right.
Yeah, we're usually pretty good.
You ready to go?
I'm ready whenever you are, Gonzalez.
Mr. Hernandez, we've been gone for a while.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's up, Cody?
Not much, man. What's up with you?
Oh, not a lot. What's new?
I don't know, man. Let's ask the 8-Ball.
Well, it's good to see you. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's been, what, month and some change?
Month and some change since we did the last one.
Welcome back, guys. Our guest this week, a previous guest, coming on again, fan favorite, as some might call him, Mr. Iowa Nice Guy himself.
Nicest guy in Iowa, I've heard.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely not true, but I'll take it. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that moniker. Nicest guy in Iowa.
And Iowa Nice.
Pretty nice.
It's hard when Iowa Nice is a real thing.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see that term kind of take off. And originally in the first video that we did with Iowa Nice, if you remember, the Iowa Nice Guy was not very nice at all. It was satirical. Yeah. He was a real jerk. But the jerk definition of Iowa Nice didn't keep it all. No. And so now it's just a collection, a term that is used for the whole area, just collected in there.
Do you see like examples of Iowa Nice when you're out and about doing things?
Oh yeah, I mean, especially if the definition of Iowa Nice is, people helping other people, being kind, then yeah, you see that, and it's cool to see in that people take it on as a bit of an identity.
Yeah.
They wear it as a badge of honor, and certainly there are things that we could do better in this state. There's a long list, but it at its core, if people are striving to be quote unquote Iowa Nice, whatever that means, then that's cool.
Here's what I'll say that people in Iowa need to fix is
driving.
Iowa has the worst drivers.
That's not true.
Oh, they're awful.
I lived in Louisiana for a while. I promise you.
They're worse?
It's way worse.
Okay. I've been to Louisiana, but I just walked around Bourbon Street.
You ever been to Paris?
Sure. Nope.
Way worse.
Paris.
Oh, Paris,
England?
France.
Paris where? You're way off today, man.
Had one of those days, I guess.
No, I don't. I think Missouri drivers are worse for sure. What do I say? What else? I think Missouri's definitely worse. I could probably. Have you been to California?
I haven't.
Yep.
Florida.
Not good.
I didn't get a chance to really see how bad people were in California because every 5 feet was a stoplight, and I hit everyone red.
Well, that will happen. Yes. Also, if you've ever seen video of people driving in India, it's way worse. So anyway, I don't mean to come on to your podcast.
No, it's all right.
Your observation.
Yeah.
But you're wrong.
You are wrong.
I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm just saying that.
You're not right.
Yeah. Okay, so you named 9 other places. Iowa's top 10.
I'll tell you this. I don't say they're bad drivers.
Per capita, we're the worst.
But they either go, say the speed limit's 45. They're either going 30 or 90. There's no hitting the speed limit or 5 over like there is in Iowa. They're either flying or they're going slow.
Well, if you're in the left lane, they're hitting the speed limit. Anyways, I digress. So we invited you back on the show because you have a documentary coming out.
I sure do, yes.
Yeah, and let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, many years in the making. Kinnick, the documentary, it's 90-minute feature-length documentary on the life of Niall Kinnick, who, if you don't know, is the man who the football stadium in Iowa City is named after. Right. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1939.
He's the only Iowa player to win the Heisman, correct?
The only one to play here, Jay Berwanger, was from the Quad Cities. He won the very first Heisman, but he did not play in the state of Iowa.
Okay. So, and this will be a feature film, right?
Yep. Yeah, 90 minutes. Okay. 90 solid minutes.
Nice. What's the release date on it?
Yeah, August 24th. It'll be available on Vimeo, and you'll be able to get it there to stream on your TV through your Chromecast or whatever you use.
Perfect.
And, yeah, it's and if you want to know more, just you'll listen to the rest of this podcast, but also just Google Kinnick the documentary or follow me, Scott Siepker, on social media, and you'll get plenty of updates and little teasers as we get closer to August 24th.
Can you tell us any teasers real quick?
And here in about 5 minutes, we're going to play the trailer, the first trailer for it.
Okay, yeah. And you haven't seen it yet, so I'm interested to see your reaction. But The film probably doesn't look the way that most people will think it will look from a little group of Iowans making a tiny film.
Yep.
We really tried. The scope of it is hopefully comes across. I mean, we travel all over the country to tell Niall's story. What you think? Oh, this is just an Iowa story, but he had many interesting connections to other parts of the state or other parts of the states. And also his time in the military took him across the South into Florida.
And now there's a street named after him in where's it? Adel.
Adel, that's his hometown. Yeah.
Yep.
So
and there's a Casey's right there on it. So
it sure is.
Interested to see more about his time in the military. That kind of really intrigues me a little bit.
Yeah, that section in the film was probably 20-ish minutes. So it's a deep dive into his time in the military that I don't think I've never seen anybody do it the way that we've done it. I'm pretty sure nobody has, unless there's some secret documentary somebody put together and never released.
And they're releasing it August 18th.
Right before us.
Yeah.
But we went through, he wrote 3 war journals in his time, and it's the most intimate look you get at how Niall saw the world, how he thought, how he felt.
Okay. So what was other than, this great man, what was your inspiration? What made you want to kind of do this?
It kind of started as a practical purpose. I wanted to do a feature film, and I really want to be doing like fiction narratives, traditional movies maybe is what you'd call them. But we had, as a group, need to make the transition between 2-minute videos and feature length. And so the way I thought best to do it was, we have a built-in audience here in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the time, it was going to be a Jack Trice and Niall Kinnick documentary together.
Okay.
But then once we got into the research, it was clear that that film was going to be way, way, way too long.
Yeah.
And so we ended up splitting them into 2. And Niall's is done now. Will come out August 24th. And then Jack Trice's will come out sometime in the future, pending fundraising.
Okay.
Nice.
Is there a way that someone can help to fund that or help us support that?
We're still. You have to be careful about how you talk about fundraising, just in case we were ever to get into, say, an investment. If we were going to sell investments or whatnot, which I'm not saying we are, but what I will say, generally speaking, is we don't know how we're going to do fundraising, but we will have to do fundraising in some form, whether it's charity or for-profit, something out of that. But that's all coming together now, and I'll be making that fundraising round here shortly.
Okay.
Cool. And people can follow you on social media to keep up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Random question about Niall Kinnick. What's a fun fact about him that nobody would know?
His nickname as a small child, you just picture Niall Kinnick, like the masculine man.
Yeah.
Chest, abs, look like he's carved out of rubber, bulldozing through Notre Dame's defensive line to score a game-winning touchdown. His nickname as a child was June.
Junior?
June. They just called him June.
Okay.
So you think a little 8-year-old Niall running around crying, and all his friends calling him June, which I just find so endearing.
Why is that the month he was born or something?
No, he was a junior.
Okay.
Technically he wasn't a junior. His name is Niall Clark Kinnick Jr. His father's name was Niall Clark Kinnick
Senior,
who was the quarterback at Iowa State. Actually, his dad was the quarterback at Iowa State.
Oh wow,
interesting.
But Niall Jr.'s mother was the daughter of George Clark, who was the governor of Iowa in the early 1900s.
Okay.
They spelled their name Clarke. But Niall Clark Kinnick Sr. was just the regular Clark without the E. But the family wanted to honor Governor Clark. So his Niall Jr.'s name is Niall Clark with an E. So he's not technically not a junior.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Fun fact of the day.
There you go.
Nice. Let's check out the trailer right now.
Yeah.
We'll come back. We'll get into the Blitz and do more interviews with Scott. We'll be right back.
I thank God I was warring on the gridirons of the Midwest and not on the battlefields of Europe.
Niall Clark Kinnick Jr., Iowa's immortal All-American.
Throughout the history of college football, few players have had as lasting of an effect on their fan base as Niall Kinnick. It's his image that's featured on the coin flip to start every game in the Big Ten Conference. And when nearly 70,000 fans gather to watch the Hawkeyes play in Iowa City, They do so in Kinnick Stadium.
It might be the most famous photo in Iowa athletic history. That picture of Niall crashing over the goal line.
Even for those who knew him, Niall Kinnick quickly went from hero to legend. But that legend obscures the flesh and blood man.
We all grew up in this little town of Adel in Iowa. Niall was a first cousin. This is the Kinnick home when they lived in Adel.
Dear Sonny Boy, I do not refer alone to football wins. They are of passing importance.
He had a fairly aristocratic upbringing. They were always talking about live right, do right, think right, act right. His grandfather was governor of Iowa from 1913 to 1917.
My dear Niall, are you familiar with Longfellow's poem Excelsior? It is inspirational.
That was a very moving experience for us to read his writing.
He wrote in the diary, says it's just like paradise, flying in and out of those clouds.
I think he could have been anything, maybe even President of the United States.
I can speak confidently and positively that the players of this country would much rather struggle and fight to win the Heisman Award than Croix de Guerre. Thank you.
I'm welcome. And you're welcome. What are you looking at?
I was just sending that link to a couple of my friends.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Big thank you real quick to the Irish in West Des Moines, right in the heart of West Glen, next to Coach's Pizza. Also, big shout out to BBOPS and Lola's.
Yeah.
And
ReMax Group, the Mullin Team Mullins.
Yeah.
Mullin Team.
All kinds of sponsors now.
You guys are like the NASCAR of podcasts.
We're going to put on our windshield soon so we can just, like Ricky Bobby style.
So I wore my BBOPS hat.
Yeah.
Because they pay me for it. And they got delicious burgers.
If you haven't checked out that documentary, check it out. I just watched the trailer, and I am stoked.
We just played it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. Then.
Yeah.
I've got so many more questions now. Like, first off, the way they spoke back then, like letters from his people, and the way he spoke, so much cooler than how we speak today.
Yeah, there was especially public speaking back then was very formal.
Yeah.
And Niall had that. But just his voice in general had, and even in his early 20s, sounded like an elder statesman.
Yeah.
It's really incredible. And, that's the formal side. But the way he writes in his journals is, while it's more intelligent than many of us, it's still in a common tongue.
Okay.
He was there. Niall knew when he knew what hat to wear and when to wear it.
Okay.
And so it's while very formal in some places, other places he could be quite relaxed.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, have you seen his actual journals? You read the actual? Or you just
yeah.
read
So they're in 3 notebooks. They're in the archives at the University of Iowa. And what you saw in the trailer there, we actually have scans of all of them.
Okay.
We did film some of the pages with our own cameras, but we have full res scans of each of them, and then we're able to pull off the penmanship and utilize it in different special effects ways that I think is really nice.
That was really cool.
Okay.
So what was the process like, or what was the process, I guess, to put this documentary together?
It was a long process. If I would have known how hard it was to make a historical documentary, I probably never would have started. But really, it began with getting out and doing interviews with the experts at the time. And so we went out and interviewed the foremost experts on Niall Kinnick. Tom Lidd, who had written a fictionalized version of Niall's life called Niall. And then Mike Chapman, who has written extensively about Niall Kinnick. We utilized a book written by D.W. Stump, which is kind of the quintessential book. A Hero Perished is what that's called. I recommend it to everybody. That was a nice starting. And then we found Don Bice, who is Niall's first cousin, 8 years younger than him, who still alive in his 90s and an amazing storyteller.
He was in the trailer,
He's
right?
in the trailer.
He looks good for being in his
great.
90s.
Yeah. And he was really able to kind of be the heart of our documentary. So we had that, and then we had to go out and scan a lot of photos and journal entries, letters, dig up some brand new stuff, and then fill in where we could. So like the war section, there's not a ton of photos of Niall. So during that time, to fill out a 20-minute segment of a film. So we had to go into the National Archives and find other photos on the USS Lexington, which is the aircraft carrier Niall served on, find photos of the exact plane model that he was flying, to piece the whole story together.
Yeah.
And then luckily one night, really late at night, I was going through the National Archives, probably had looked at my 22,333rd photo at that night, and all of a sudden through my groggy eyes, I see a photo that I'm question, is that Niall? I've never seen this photo before. I look and I'm like, oh my God, that is Niall. So in the middle of night, I wanted to start screaming. I was so excited. I found this photo of Niall no one's ever seen before.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful personality photo. He's got he's sitting around with all his pilot buddies in the ready room. He's got this big grin on his face, and there's magazine cutouts of pinup girls all behind them on a corkboard. Okay. And it's a wonderful photo. It's probably my favorite photo of Niall. But all that, and then going through the scripting process. So you actually write everything, you take all the quotes, and so we have a document that's about 100 pages long, and then you keep writing, rewriting, rewriting, and you get through that process, and then you actually start the editing of the film process.
Okay.
Interesting.
Would you consider yourself now the foremost knowledge person on Niall Kinnick?
As an Iowan, it's hard to say something like that, but yeah, I think so. Me and the three other guys, Brendan Dunphy, Paul Benedict, and Christopher Cook, we were able to take the work that has been done before us, which we're so appreciative. So we were able to take all that information and then build on it through primary research. So, and I think we have spent the most time, except when Stump maybe wrote his book.
Right.
He actually knew Niall Sr., Niall's father, so he did have that aspect. Okay. But at this point, I would assume Stump is a little bit rustier than we are on this stuff.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay.
Has the University of Iowa reached out to you guys about the documentary?
So yeah, we've been working with them since day one.
Okay.
They have been wonderful to work with.
Perfect.
And they've been really helpful, and they love the film, and are really excited for it to get out into the world.
That's awesome. August 24th, right?
That's August 24th.
On Vimeo,
Yeah,
Vimeo.
That's right.
Vimeo.
Vimeo.
And if you want to follow updates, you can follow Scott on social media.
Yeah.
You want to spell out your last name just in case?
Siepker, but just you can search Iowa Nice Guy and you'll find me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Should we roll into the Blitz?
Let's go for it.
You remember the
Scott,
Blitz?
you remember the Blitz?
Okay.
I think I lost last time, so.
Oh, yes. And you will lose again.
And every time since then.
Safe bet. Blitz time.
Hot, hike!
It's a blitz. It's a blitz. It's a blitz. Yeah, it's a blitz. Let's go!
I got like 6 or 7 questions this week. I got a month's worth of thinking.
Okay.
On questions.
Yeah.
Wow, 7 questions in 1 month. You've really been thinking.
He does one a week.
I was on.
That's why he got 7, because he's good with math too.
Well, I went to Roosevelt. Okay, question 1. You get $1 billion, but you can only listen to one song on repeat the rest of your life. What song is it?
Oh, this is a really good question. I appreciate this question. I think that I would probably go with Moonlight Sonata.
Okay.
Yeah, I could listen to that. There's a lot of depth there. I could also spend time writing words myself, because there are none, and and be like, oh, okay, well, here's a new version. This just occupied my time. Yeah. But also, it would be terrible to actually only get to listen to one song the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah.
But you get $1 billion.
So you don't have to listen to any music.
Right.
You don't have to listen to any music, but if you do, it's got to be one song.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. According to Urban Dictionary, what is fishing in the dark?
Ooh.
Are we supposed to go back and forth?
All you.
Fishing in the dark is just when you go out, you're not really fishing. You're having amorous activities.
Okay.
I think the original lyrics of "Fishing in the Dark" was the other F word. Can we swear in the podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I think maybe we should double check this, but I think "Fucking in the Dark" was the actual title.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think that's
they
what,
radio edited to "Fishing" and then it caught on better.
Maybe that, or maybe with the studio. I'd have to look this up, but if you listen to the lyrics of the song, that's clearly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's clearly singing about having sex.
Okay.
What does it say in Urban Dictionary?
We'll get to the answer.
Oh,
I don't want to give Cody a leg up here.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
That doesn't give me a chance to win this thing for once.
Next question. When making a PB&J, do you put the peanut butter on first, and do you put the PB&J on the same side of the bread?
No, I separate them.
Okay.
Yeah. I do one side peanut butter, the other side jelly.
And do you do peanut butter first or jelly first?
Peanut butter for sure first.
Okay.
Next
question. Which cheese is the superior cheese? Yeah, these are in-depth questions.
Ooh.
Hard hitting.
It took you 7 weeks to think of these.
Most of them I thought of 4 weeks ago.
I Maytag blue cheese is a local favorite. I'm just not the biggest blue cheese fan. My answer is an extra sharp cheddar.
Okay.
Like a really aged cheddar, something very sharp.
Okay.
And this seems trendy to ask such a question here. She's a 10, but she sleeps with her socks on. What is she now?
A 10.
Still
a
10?
10. Yeah,
Okay.
I got no problem with that.
Okay.
If she's a 10, we're good. I can put up with a lot with a 10.
That's
I think
fair.
We all can. That's a fault in our personalities.
That's a fault in the male genome.
3 questions left.
3 questions left. Okay.
We got a lot this week.
I'm winning so far.
Yes. You've got everyone better than Cody so far. What's something you hated as a child, but you love as an adult?
Broccoli.
Okay.
I hated broccoli as a child.
And
I mean, I hated the way it smelled. I hated the way it felt in my mouth. Looked like little tiny trees. But now I eat broccoli a lot, and I enjoy it.
Broccoli's good. All right. Next question. Would you rather date a girl who dabbles in a little crystal meth or is super into collecting crystals?
I feel like I just heard this question asked, and what was a good answer? I should have been prepared. No, clearly I would rather her be into crystals. I feel like that I can control where I am a little bit more, knowing what her state of mind is, and when she's on crystal meth, that might just come out of nowhere, and I'd be like, we're in public, I have nothing to do. She's probably not carrying the crystals around with her while we go to the Civic Center.
Some might
Fair.
be. You never know.
And the last question for you before we go to Cody. Who is the best number 24 of all time?
Number 24?
I would, of course, I'm partial to Niall Kinnick, but I think the answer here is Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Willie Mays is in there.
There's a lot of people in there.
Okay, I'm going to switch to Willie Mays.
Okay.
But it's very close.
Okay.
Willie Mays.
All right. That was your blitz. Cody, you're up. You ready?
Yeah.
Question 1. You get $1 billion, but you can only listen to one song on repeat the rest of your life. What song do you choose?
Hallelujah.
By which version?
There's so many different versions. That's why I like it, because a lot of people can do it a lot different ways.
Wait, are you saying in this question you can listen to the same song, but it can be different versions?
I just said one song.
Yeah, he said one song.
To be fair,
All right.
That was very smart of you, Cody.
Yeah.
Well,
I
gosh,
wouldn't.
and
I didn't
feel
think
like
that either.
mine's better then, because Moonlight Sonata has been played by many, many people for hundreds of years longer than your song was even around for.
He's trying to sell me on it. I like it. I like it.
Hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years. Beethoven to Leonard Cohen. Isn't Leonard Cohen's words then sung by Jeff Buckley?
Jeff Buckley has my favorite Hallelujah version. Also, there's a country singer that does a really good one. I can't think of his name right now. But there's so many different versions of that same song.
May I suggest Rufus Wainwright's version?
Okay.
You probably haven't heard of him, but Rufus Wainwright's will rip your heart out, throw it on the ground, step on it, and then gently place it back into your chest until it's ripped out again.
Well, that doesn't sound fun.
No, it's great. It's so beautiful.
All right,
Cody, next question for you. According to Urban Dictionary, what is fishing in the dark?
It's when you take a girl down by the pond and a girl or guy, depending on who's fishing, but you take them and then you have basically you bang it out under the moonlight.
They say chivalry's dead, Cody.
Could be a picnic table. Could be just on a sand beach by the river.
Okay.
Could be a van down by the river.
And remember, this is according to Urban Dictionary. Just want to throw it out there. Next question. When making a PB&J, do you put the peanut butter on first, and do you put both the peanut butter and jelly on the same side of the bread?
Never on the same side. And usually I would say, yeah, I think I go peanut butter then jelly.
Okay.
Because you lick the spoon after each one anyways, so.
Fair
You
enough.
use a spoon for your peanut butter?
Knife, spoon, whatever.
Wait, you use a spoon for your peanut butter?
Peanut butter, I think. I probably use the same thing because jelly's hard to get with a knife.
So you're using a spoon to spread your peanut butter?
Sometimes.
Do you know how inefficient this is?
This is an interesting
It's
take. This is
terrible
a hot
idea.
take. This is a hot
This is
take.
a terrible
Generally, I
idea.
use a knife, but then it's hard to get jelly on a knife.
Yeah, you can use
How's it
two
hard to get
different
jelly on a
instruments.
knife? You turn the jelly sideways.
How do you get
nice
the
one is
peanut
just
butter
thick,
off of the
so you get a
spoon?
spoon. What do you mean?
Yeah, how do you get the peanut butter off the spoon?
You just
put it
take
on there and
you just take the bread and like scoop the bread with it.
No, use your finger. And then lick your finger.
So why not just use your finger at that point if you're just going to use your finger?
Well, you could do that too.
Okay, Cody.
I don't like to dirty too many utensils at once.
I think the show's over, guys. Thanks for listening. We're gonna move on. I can't wait for this answer. Which cheese is the superior cheese?
Mozzarella.
That was a terrible accent.
it
You sound like
doesn't-
you sound like Borat trying to be Italian.
Not even an Italian person would say mozzarella is the right answer.
I honestly thought you'd say Kraft Singles.
Mozzarella is good for some purposes.
String cheese.
But it's not really a great cheese like you just eat by itself when you have other things on the charcuterie board.
Yeah.
I like mozzarella a lot.
Okay.
You can make strings out of it. You can't make strings out of sharp cheddar.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, you can. I've had it.
Do you eat it with a spoon?
Do I eat mozzarella with a spoon?
I
No.
didn't know. Okay, Cody, next question. She's a 10, but she sleeps with her socks on.
9.5.
Okay. So it takes a half a notch out for you.
Yeah, because if I want to cuddle up her feet or something like that, then I have to crawl down first because she's going to be taller than me. So I got to get down there, which is weird. Then I'm like, oh, your feet are all warm and fluffy with your socks on? That's weird, too. So.
Okay. Something you hated as a child but love as an adult.
Morel mushrooms.
Okay.
I don't love all mushrooms, but I love morels. But I like mushrooms on my hoo-ha. Anything but pizza. I don't really like them on pizza, but I'm a fan of mushrooms as an adult that I wasn't as a kid.
Okay, that was in depth. Thank you for that. Would you rather date a girl who dabbles in a little crystal meth here and there, or is super into collecting crystals?
Is this like a, like she collects girls named Crystal, or just crystals?
However you want to interpret it.
I mean, mess bad, okay? So I'm gonna say crystals.
Okay. And last question. Who is the best number 24 of all time?
I bet if I didn't go first, we should have given this one first. I bet you couldn't even pick one person who has 24.
Willie Mays is my favorite baseball player.
Take Willie
of all time.
Mays and Kobe out. And now Kinnick.
Willie Mays is my favorite baseball player. So I would love to say him, but I think Kobe is the best. I mean,
Okay.
Kobe's inarguably top 5 best player of all time. And Willie Mays is up there as far as best baseball players, but he's not.
He's top 5.
You think he's top 5?
Yeah.
Man,
at least.
So you're going
He might
Kobe.
be the greatest.
Ooh, I would love
No one
to-
says Kobe's
I would
the
love
greatest.
it to be.
I say Kobe's the greatest.
Yeah, but you're an idiot.
I got Kobe tattoo, so
I know. I'm gonna go with Kobe.
Okay.
Also, I know what the correct answer is coming from him, so
That's fair. 'Cause I had
Oh,
two.
yeah, it's a
I had
game.
two
I
correct
forgot it's
answers.
a game. I forgot a game.
I had two
Yeah.
correct answers, and you guys will both hate my second one, so it's perfect. All right.
Are you gonna say Jeff Gordon is the second one? Because I will kick you in the face.
That was one I didn't even think of, but that's funny. Okay, let's go through the answers here. You get $1 billion. You're gonna listen to one song and repeat the rest of your life. What song is it?
Moonlight Sonata.
Moonlight Sonata and
Hallelujah.
Yes, the correct answer was Careless Whisper by George Michael. But
saxophone solo.
Moonlight Sonata, it's been around for hundreds of years, Cody.
Hundreds of
even know
years.
before he said
Hundreds
that.
of years.
Will you listen to it on the way home tonight?
Moonlight Sonata?
Yeah.
How long is it? 'Cause I live 2 minutes away.
It's gorgeous.
I'll listen
You'll
to it.
sit in your car and listen to the rest of it.
All right.
Yeah. Next one.
I'll
According
play
to
to my
Urban,
dog tonight when I'm crying myself asleep I'm alone.
That's a perfect idea.
wearing socks in bed.
Wearing socks in bed. Yeah.
According to Urban Dictionary, what is fishing in the dark? They say it is laying on your back outside at night, performing mutual masturbation with your partner.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's
Okay,
Urban Dictionary.
interesting.
Yeah. I like your guys' answers better.
I'll have to look. I'm going to
Mutual
go back. And,
masturbation. So
Yeah.
are you jerking them off?
You were
no.
Scott
You're-
gets the point because you said bang it out, and he used like have coitus or
More
something like
eloquent words.
yeah, something very
Amorous
nice.
activity.
Yeah, amorous activity is.
Well, Scott's clearly a better wordsmith than I am.
Yes. Now we're just gonna go bang it out real quick. So
to the
that's
point.
2-0.
Scott's not impressed with women with his vocabulary. I'm just
when making PB&J, you put peanut butter on first, and you put PB&J on the same side. Now there was gonna be a tiebreaker on this. Do you use chunky or creamy?
Oh, chunky.
Creamy.
And the tiebreaker would have gone to him because chunky's the correct answer. But then you threw in that you use a spoon to spread everything.
Well,
so
it
that totally
depends.
negated all, and then negated your whole answer.
I mean, I could use a fork too. Like, just
What?
You just,
That is-
whatever
No.
utensil I have
Stop,
right there.
stop. Do
I
your
want a dirty
dishes.
Yeah.
Do your dishes.
I just reach in the dish drawer and grab a clean.
Do you have a dishwasher?
Yeah.
Well, then use it.
But I do.
I use a
just
slotted
reach-
spoon to get the chunks out.
I just reach into the
Like what?
reach into the silverware drawer and grab whatever's there. Like, get a steak knife. That'll work too.
Okay, well, Cody, this isn't looking good for you so far. Which cheese is superior cheese? You said extra sharp cheddar.
Yeah.
And you said mozzarella. I personally like Swiss.
I can go Swiss.
Sharp cheddar's a better answer because mozzarella is good on a select few things.
Yes. You're getting
Mozzarella
destroyed.
is good though. There's not really a bad
Your
answer
podcast.
because almost all cheese is good.
Yeah, that's
Agreed.
true.
Yes.
Except for blue cheese. Which he was gonna say
No,
blue cheese.
but well, I mean, we make it the best in the world right down there in Newton. So yeah, I have pride for it.
I like blue cheese crumbles.
Blue cheese is just a fungus.
I don't like blue cheese like dipping.
Yeah, I'm not a blue cheese fan.
What do you? Your next answer was mushrooms, and you just called out blue cheese because you don't like fungus.
Don't take my point and turn it around on me.
And it's not. Mold is different than fungus. But anyway,
Whatever.
continue.
Don't turn my answer around on me, Scott. This isn't fair.
She's a 10 but sleeps with her socks on. You said 9.5. You said 10 still. Because
yeah.
she's still a 10 either way. I don't think the socks are that big of a deal, but I'm going to give Cody a point just to be nice.
Okay, that's fair. We don't need to have.
I mean, if I
Because
can
he took a half point off, so he, you know.
If I can get a 10, I'm not gonna kick her out of bed just for her socks on. But
Yeah, well, not until the Uber shows up.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
And she's paying.
Yeah. Chivalry's not dead, Cody. Something you hated as a child but love as an adult. You said broccoli. Cody, you love funguses in this aspect. You said mushrooms. I put getting spanked or napping. So you guys went a totally different route
Well, who
than I
hates
did.
napping as a kid, though?
Oh, I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, most kids hate napping.
Yeah.
Oh, I like napping.
Showers, baths, napping.
Yeah.
Eating healthy food.
Yeah, I took a nap today. The spank part hasn't happened yet, but I took a nap today, so I'm halfway there.
Why do you need to do that if you have a girlfriend?
And broccoli's
What's
the
she
correct
good for,
answer.
then?
That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who else? I'm not going to spank myself. What? Would you do that with your spoon with peanut butter on it? You weird fuck. All right. Would you rather date a girl who dabbles in crystal meth or is super into crystals?
It's like an R. Kelly thing. We just collect.
I kind of liked Cody's answer when he said girls named Crystal because that was kind of funny. And he's not going anyways.
No, I mean, then that would make her a serial kidnapper.
Yeah, like.
Would you rather date a serial kidnapper than somebody who dabbles in meth?
Crystal meth.
Crystal meth.
R. Kelly.
And I've been rewatching Breaking Bad, so like I'm super into crystal meth right now. You know.
The girl that played on Smallville.
Wait, you're saying you'd rather date a girl that does things like R. Kelly did?
No, I'm just saying.
That's
give an example.
Awful. That's not a good example. It's the worst example. Man, what is happening?
Jesus, Cody.
I need him. I know.
Your dating profile's just gone straight up. That's probably why you picked Hallelujah as your song.
Oh, wow, that was a slam.
And who is the best number 24 of all time? You said.
Well, I switched it up to Willie Mays.
Willie Mays. You said Kobe.
Yeah.
I said Kobe, obviously, because I'm a Kobe guy. There's great answers out there, though. King Griffey Jr., he was 24. Darrell Revis.
No, he's not in this. He's
not. I'm
this
just
thing.
looking at people.
Okay,
Jeff Gordon.
Okay, just in general.
Also,
Okay.
the correct number 2, Barry Bonds, the greatest baseball player of all time.
He was 25, I thought.
24 at Pittsburgh.
Then he switched?
I
he
think
was
so.
25. Because his
he was 24 in
Willie
Pittsburgh.
Mays was his relative.
His godfather.
That's right. Oh yeah, godfather, not
Yeah.
relative, right? Or is he related as well?
No, it was his godfather.
Just
Because
Bobby.
Bobby was his best friend growing up.
Yeah, I got it right. I looked it up earlier.
Okay.
Make sure I
And what
wasn't
is
crazy.
he with the Giants? Did he go to switch to 25?
That's a good question.
Here comes
Number 25 with the Giants. Number 24 with the Pirates.
Yeah. But Griffey's a great answer, too.
Yeah, it is.
Griffey's a great answer.
Griffey's not better than Willie Mays, though.
No. If he would have
Griffey is
stayed healthy,
behind the
he
back.
could have maybe done
He
something.
could have made a run for it.
Yeah.
Well, Willie had a lot going on back in the day through racial and all. I mean,
No, I'm talking
incredible.
strictly on the field.
oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would love to debate that.
And
would be on the best side that he's not the greatest, but I love.
And Wesley Snipes was Willie Mays Hayes in
yeah,
Major
but what
League.
number was
Yeah,
he?
but Omar Epps
He was number 0.
And the second one,
and
Major League
is the
2.
better Major League.
I agree.
Oh shit!
It's a very unpopular opinion,
Yeah,
but
it
I
is.
do agree.
Omar Epps was Willie Mays Hayes.
Yeah, because
wasn't
Wesley
he?
Snipes won too much money.
Yeah.
How did I never just realize that?
Well,
Now you have something to
I
go
was
watch
this
after you
many
listen
days
to
old
Moonlight
when I realized
Sonata.
that Omar Epps wasn't. It wasn't Wesley Snipes anymore.
You're right there with it.
Wow.
All right, well, that was the Blitz. Cody, you lose again. Scott, you're 2-0 now.
What was the score? I had to close. I had 3 wins, right?
There was 7 questions. I gave you 2.
I had 3.
Okay, well, either way, it's 4-3.
Also,
hey, at least I took it to a game 7, which is something Jordan's never been to in the NBA Finals, which is why he's better than LeBron.
I'm not going to argue on that one.
That's not why he's better than LeBron.
Well, that's not why. But
There's
one
stronger
of the,
arguments
one of the
than
reasons.
that.
Yeah, I mean, just going 6-0 in the finals doesn't necessarily do it.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about our sponsors real quick.
Yeah.
BBOPS. I'm a fan. You're a fan. Are you a fan?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone
Get that
loves
nacho
BBOPS.
cheese to dip my fries in.
It's a hot as hell day out. Grab the chocolate malt.
Perfect day for a malt.
Yeah.
Chocolate shake, actually. But
Shake, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, they actually, so they've teamed up with our other sponsor, Lola's. They have a new secret sandwich coming out.
Okay.
I tried to get a hold of Neil earlier today. He hasn't coming back yet. I wanted to try and bring one on the show tonight, but they haven't released it yet. But so it's obviously going to be something with a little heat to it. I don't know what it is yet, though. But I'm very excited for when that comes out because Lola's makes also fantastic products, both great Iowa companies.
You can get Lola's packets at any BBOPS in town. And there's
Yeah.
a new one. There's a new BBOPS coming in Waukee, right?
Grimes.
Grimes,
They're in Waukee.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And other than that, the Mullin Group.
Looking to buy, sell, looking kind of inquiring on what mortgages are at right now. Give Sean Mullin and the Mullin Team at ReMax a call.
Yeah. Here's a quick word from the sponsors. Also, a big shout out to the Irish from West Des Moines for having us, and we'll be right back.
Where's the best place in Des Moines to get a burger, fries, and a chocolate shake?
BBOPS, big tasty burgers, hot crispy fries, and great chocolate shakes.
So why do you come to BBOPS?
The burgers are fresh and fast, and it tastes great.
I like the pork fritters and chicken sandwiches.
Where's the best place in Des Moines to get a burger, fries, and a chocolate shake?
There's only one place we go. BBOPS.
Oh, BBOPS, better than good.
Lola's Fine Hot Sauce, a generational family recipe using the world's hottest peppers for great flavor. They're vegan, non-GMO project verified, kosher, and all natural. Find them online at lolasfinehotsauce.com. Use promo code ASK8BALL for 10% off your purchase. Are you in the market for buying or selling a home? Get a hold of the best in the business, the Mullin Group at ReMax Revolutions. You can get a hold of Sean at 515-306-2028. Again, ReMax Revolution, Sean Mullin at 515-306-2028.
Cody, you remember this song from the Wedding Singer?
I actually watched part of this Wedding Singer the other day. It was on.
Arguably the greatest soundtrack of any movie of all time.
Okay.
Name one better.
What about is it called Ghost?
Ghost with
Patrick
Patrick Swayze and
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg, Demi Moore.
Yeah.
What was on that soundtrack?
I don't even know. I'm just thinking of movies.
What are you? The Righteous Brothers song is.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Ghost
other
is
than that
most
one,
well-
but-
What about Oh Brother Where Art Thou? They had some good sounds on that one.
That was a great soundtrack.
Okay.
What about Titanic?
One song.
My heart will go on.
It was like saying The Bodyguard.
Hey, Bodyguard's a good movie.
Bodyguard's got a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
I just know the one song. I know they actually had more.
Oh yeah, listen to
Okay.
that. You'll recognize a few others.
Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you guys all for I don't know, listening. What do you thank
Sticking
people
with
for
us
now?
over the
Yeah,
last-
there we go.
sticking with us
Yeah,
through the
because we've been on
hiatus.
vacation. Thank
Yeah.
you. Brain fart.
Marshall was up in northern Minnesota. I was up in northern United States.
Alaska, they call it. Yes.
Yeah.
Where you don't need a passport to fly to.
You don't.
Yes. I had somebody ask me that.
Fun fact of the
No,
day.
you
don't-
wouldn't need. No,
Yeah.
You don't need a
wouldn't
passport to
Someone's like,
fly
this-
to
People
another
who
state.
think you would.
Someone's like, this might be a dumb question.
Someone actually asked you
Yeah,
that?
like, do you need a passport to go
Who
to
was
Alaska?
it?
I said, well, if you drive there, yes.
Yeah.
If you fly, no.
Who asked you that?
I won't say
You
their
have no
name.
idea their name.
I'll just say it rhymes with spliffany.
Oh, we're going with Jennifer, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm still over here just wondering how you don't think that Willie Mays is arguably the greatest baseball player of all time.
Cody, why is this? But you think Babe Ruth's the best of all time?
No, I think Ty Cobb's the best player of all time.
Oh,
Oh, actually, I think,
no.
excuse me, I think Ted, well.
Why, 'cause
I think
they named
Ty
a
Cobb
salad
is.
after him?
I think Ted Williams would have been if he had not missed the years of his prime.
I think the top 3 outside of you is fairly unarguable. It's in somebody in this order, somewhere in this order. Ruth, Mays, Aaron. Those are your top 3.
Really?
Then you debate among them.
Okay.
I think that's the answer.
I think the
Ty Cobb is probably 4th or 5th with Ted Williams. I'd go with that. I feel like that's a good top 5 right there.
I think
I
Barry
feel good
Bonds
about
is the
that.
correct answer.
No.
I'll die on that hill.
No, Barry Bonds is not.
No,
the
Barry
right
Bonds
answer.
isn't.
He's in the top 10, unfortunately, but
He's in the top 10 without his steroids career. Like, just his career at the
First of all,
Pirates.
alleged steroids.
No.
How dare you? Alleged.
No, I'm happy to say
I'll
he
die
did
on
it.
the hill that he took steroids.
Well, there's never been any proof of it, so
There's a ton of proof.
I haven't seen it.
There's a ton of proof.
If I don't see it, it doesn't
Just
count.
because you haven't seen it doesn't mean
That's
you've never seen a whale's dick, have you? Doesn't mean they don't exist.
All right, this conversation is getting weird.
See? Gotta win that argument real quick.
Speaking of weird, I think it's because I talked to you the other night, and then I remember who it was, something about they saw an ad of you, and then I was at home on TikTok, and all of a sudden my next thing was a ad of you talking about the Iowa State Fair.
Oh, yes.
So you're now my algorithm, and I appreciate that.
It's really unfortunate for you guys. I apologize. But, yeah, I fear getting overexposed in this market, so maybe I need to back off. But over the course of the pandemic, there were a few things that just got put off.
Yeah.
Like you'll notice in the State Fair commercial, my beard is huge.
Yeah.
Like we shot that a couple years ago, but a lot of this stuff now is much more applicable because things are back to being opened up. So there's a deluge of Scott content right now.
There's a lot of big words coming out now too. I like this.
With the State Fair coming up in 11 days, 10 days?
Thursday the 11th it starts.
It's always best not to. Yeah, that's the way you should.
Thursday
say it.
the
On a
11th.
podcast that doesn't come out on the day we record it.
So with that coming
gotcha.
up, what is your go-to food at the State Fair?
I love so much of the food. I mean, there's so many good things, but for me, it's the hot beef sundae.
That is delicious.
That's my favorite one. I could house like 24 of those in 1 hour if I had the opportunity. I love them.
My go-to used to be either the corn dog or the foot-long hot dog. I loved them, but now it's the lobster roll.
Oh, the lobster roll.
Last year's
JR's.
Lobster rolls.
Just got done
fantastic.
doing some videos for JR's, so you'll see me in those too. So
Nice. I can't wait for my can't wait for my late night TikTok watching. And
Do you have a go-to or a favorite thing to do at State Fair?
I just love walking around and just being there.
Yeah.
Especially once it becomes night, and I don't know, there's just there's an aura about the State Fair, and I like going on like one of the last 2 days too, towards the end. There's something really cool about it, and there's already for me, at least I'm a nostalgic person, so nostalgia is already setting in, even though the fair isn't over.
Right.
This is a problem with my psyche not being present, but I'm also already been like, oh man, I missed the fair. I can't wait for it next year.
And
hey, idiot,
3 days left.
you're here right now. Why
Yeah.
don't you just shut up your brain?
yeah.
All right.
You go to any concerts this year, Cody?
So I always loved to attend the free stage. The
Hairball.
I love Hairball. The Amphitheater. Susan B.
Susan Knapp.
Susan Knapp. Yeah.
You say Susan B. Anthony? Wrong country.
I love going to that because I feel like there's always someone that's just made it, but we signed them 4 years ago and they're up and coming, so there's a really good act.
It's true. I saw Boys to Men there a few years ago.
That was after their prime, though.
Yeah.
I saw.
Wish you were there a long time ago.
Yeah,
No, 2 years ago.
Small child.
Dan and Shay, I've seen. They're big now. I've seen a bunch of guys that were just coming up or like had just made it a year before or 2 years before, and then they've blown up and they've already seen the contract, so they have to be there. And I love that. And you can get as close as you want. It's super cool. I have to get front row because I can't see anything.
That's fair.
I mean, first day of the fair, you got to go and try all the food. Second day of the fair, you got to try whatever food you couldn't finish because there's so much food.
Deep fried
And then
Snicker.
the third day is like, I like to go like 4 times a year at least, I think. And the third, fourth day is kind of like checking out what's going on, enjoying the people, enjoying just the like I said, nostalgia of it.
We do employee day for for Wellman's and all the other bars. We take a bus out and we all dress.
Oh, really?
We dress in state fair fashion.
Wow.
First Sunday of the fair.
Yeah.
So if you see a bunch of
It's the
idiots.
first Sunday of the fair?
See a bunch of idiots roaming the fair on the first
I might
Sunday.
have to come
it's
out
us.
to see this.
Yeah.
I'm growing out my state fair mustache right now. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm looking a little nappy.
Is that what you are, or was it because of Rooster? Top Gun.
Nope, it's definitely a state fair.
It's for do you do that every year?
The last few years I have, yeah. Yeah.
Why?
I feel like it's a very state fair thing to do.
The mustache?
Yeah, and I grow a really good mustache. I can't grow any facial hair anywhere
It does
else,
look
so.
like a good mustache. I'll give you that.
I can't really grow any good facial hair. So
It all conglomerates to the front. So I
Why
tried
do
to
you
use a big
shave it
word.
when the fair's over?
I just don't have any facial hair.
No, I know. Why do you shave? Why don't you keep
why?
it going if you got a good mustache?
I think it looks good, man.
I did it a couple years ago. I just kept it for like till October, I think, and then it just.
Well, maybe it's a personal staple now in
Yeah,
your style.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll be the Iowa nice guy with the Iowa mustache guy.
Huh.
You should try and get that to be your moniker. See how that holds.
Iowa mustache guy. I like it. I feel like we're on this
Is
on
that
here.
the Iowa mustache guy?
So, I've got more before we finish up with everything. I've got more questions about your documentary.
Oh yeah, I'll answer them.
So, during the break we were talking a little bit, and you said you started this about 10 years ago. Did you start Jack Trice at the same time?
Yeah, so we had the idea around 10 years ago. We were going to do a combined Jack and Niall documentary. But then we tried to go through a couple years where we were trying to get the film fully funded, and we just did not succeed at that. And so it really was probably about 6 years ago when we started Principal Photography. But then because we weren't getting paid to do it, there would be many, many months at a time where we wouldn't work on it at all because we'd had paying client work coming in.
Yeah.
So if you're a business out there and you're looking for some good video production, let me know. I know a guy. But, you know, all that work always had to come first. And then when the pandemic shut everything down, all of a sudden we had all this time. And we used that time to complete the documentary.
Pandemic's done a lot for us. We started the podcast during the pandemic.
You know, you might as well try. My mom is a very optimistic person, and she's not had a very easy life, but she maintains her optimism, and it has rubbed off on me. And I try not to get too down about things. And so, you know, the pandemic sucked, fucking sucked.
Yeah.
But there are some good things that came out of it, and that's what you try and focus on, those positive things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you started? So you completed the Nile one. Have you started the research on Jack
Yeah.
Trice?
So for a long time we were pursuing both. So I'd say the Jack Trice one is about half done.
Okay.
Now we're just going to require funds to finish off the few days of shooting we have left, and then the massive post-production process. Yeah. I don't want to bore your audience with all the details about how much work, how much time it takes to put together a polished historical documentary. But most of it is completed in the computer and a program that we use, Adobe After Effects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it is just time consuming. There's just no way around it. It takes a lot of time. And Jack's documentary would feel very different, look very different, be styled differently than the Nile one, but it will be equally as challenging. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting fully funded and then hiring my guys to work 40 hours a week on it, and then it'll only take a couple months to complete and not a couple years.
Is Iowa State in on helping you guys out?
Yeah, they've been really nice. Jamie wrote us a letter of recommendation the same way that Gary did.
Nice.
Jamie Pollard, the athletic director at Iowa State, and then Gary Barta at the University of Iowa, and then even now, as of yesterday, former Commissioner of the Big 12, Bob Bowlesby, also wrote us a little letter recommending that their support for the Jack Trice film. So I'm excited to get that one done. It's such a cool story, and we have dug up stuff that nobody's seen, just like in the Niall Kinnick documentary.
Which one was easier to do the research on, Jack or Niall?
I thought that the Niall Kinnick one was going to be easier, which is why I chose to do it first. But because there's so much more, because Niall is a generation younger than Jack, there's just way more to go through. That is both good and bad. But Jack's story, there's just not as much. There's not as many photos. I mean, we have hundreds of photos of Niall. We have handfuls of photos for Jack.
Okay.
You know, we do not have very many letters. Like, we have encyclopedias worth of letters from Niall. We don't have that stuff for Jack. And Jack's will be a combo documentary, not just his life, but his life woven into the story, the 20-year saga of how Cyclone Stadium became named Jack Trice Stadium.
Okay.
And that is a really such an intriguing story. So
his lasting legacy.
Yeah, and it's Jack, after his death, he was forgotten for a generation until a student and a journalism student found out about it and wrote it, and then he was lost again to history for another generation until the students and some professors decided we need to honor Jack, and the stadium was being built at the same time, the new stadium.
Nice.
And then that took 20 years of. There was a lot of conflict based around that that I hopefully we'll be able to get to and tell that story in the future in Jack's documentary.
Nice.
Do you have any plans of doing anything else? Either Big 10, Big 12, other Iowa historians?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
I want to be Iowa's storyteller. So but I don't. What's very specific, and I hope you see this when you look at the Kinnick documentary. It's not done in an Iowa-centric way. It's not. You wouldn't necessarily know like, oh, these guys are big Iowa fans or Hawkeye fans. Like that's not how it's scripted. It's very much from the perspective of a kind of a national viewpoint. Mm-hmm. So we don't say us as Iowans celebrate Niall Kinnick. No, we talk about Niall Kinnick having a lasting effect on his university. Okay. Phrasing it in that way so you don't be like, oh, this is just a bunch of fanboys.
Yeah.
And we want to do the same thing with Jack's documentary. I want to do one on Duke Slater, Johnny Bright from the university, or from Drake University, Kate Shelley. If you don't know that story, look that up. That one I'd love to turn into an actual movie. And then we are actually right now 3/4 of the way done with the next documentary, which isn't sports related, but it's about urban fox populations. And the producer and scorer of Kinnick, Brendan Dunphy, is directing that. I'm the producer, and he's been essentially almost living with a family of foxes over the last 2 years. And
really,
if you've seen My Octopus Teacher, this film is going to be great.
Okay.
It's weird, but really cool and touching. And I think is going to be a darling. So,
do you have a release date for that at all?
No, that one's still. He's almost done filming it. With nature, you can't really force the storyline.
Yeah.
So we're waiting for that last piece, and Brendan should be able to capture it here soon, and then we'll go into post production.
Sweet.
Awesome.
If you ever want to hear a good story of the greatest Roosevelt athlete that never was, you
Yeah.
should interview Eric Marshall.
And I'll talk about how I ran track with Lola Jones my freshman year.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we were on the same track. I didn't run with her. I ran behind her for a ways.
He went out for freshman basketball. They put him on the girls' team because he had long blonde hair down to his shoulders. So.
Well, Lola Jones is certainly one of those stories in Iowa that is to be considered to do a documentary.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
She is an intriguing character who also creates a lot of conflict for people. So that should be a good subject.
Absolutely. Well, Scott,
Fantastic.
we appreciate you coming on, man. This was awesome.
Thanks for having me. Please, if you can, share the documentary in any way.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get the word out. I think because I think once people see it, they're going to really like it. We just got to get the word out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to be on Vimeo, August 24th.
Yeah.
August 24th. Niall's number.
Watch the trailer.
Yeah.
Trailer on YouTube, also on the show.
Yeah,
we'll post a link for it too.
If you want to YouTube it, just the Niall Kinnick documentary.
Yeah, just search Niall Kinnick.
Yeah.
Or if you search, that'll come up. Kinnick the documentary is the technical title, but you just search it and you'll find it.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you, BBOPS. Thank you, Lola's. Thank you, Mullin Group. Thank you to the Irish. And Scott, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you guys next time.